Hi, I'm Vikram Agnihotri. I'm the president of Vital Spark Welfare Society, an NGO working for the betterment of differently able persons. I'm also the first Indian, a bilateral amputee, to get a driving license driving without hands, only with my feet. I'm also part of Della Leaders Club, Global Committee on Happiness. This is my DLC talk. Now, contrary to a lot of people's perception that I must have been born without limbs because of the dexterity with which I use my feet, I like to just tell that I had met with an accident at the age of 7. I accidentally came across a high tension line and both my hands were charred, they were burnt and needed to be amputated. But that wasn't the end of, I would say, my life. In fact, it was the beginning of a super eventful life for which I'm really grateful, especially to my family and especially to my mother. I remember my mother sitting beside me on the hospital bed and telling me how it was necessary to amputate both my hands as gangrene had set in. But in the same moment, she also told me, together we'll overcome all the problems and everything is going to be all right. Those words gave me comfort and hope. I believe love and hope are the two greatest things that any parent can give their children. Instead of going into depression, my parents accepted what had happened and took it up as a challenge. I'd read somewhere that depression is the inability to construct a future. I was lucky my parents were too determined not to give up on me and my future. I can sum up everything I've learned about life in just 3 words. Life goes on. Life is synonymous with, I guess, the living. Therefore, life ceases only after death. Till then, life goes on. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves, said Viktor Frankl. It is crucial that we acknowledge change, accept change, and adopt change. The sooner you can do that, the better the results. It's a cliche but true. The only constant thing is change. My mother would also say to me that the only person standing in the way of me and my dreams is myself. If I wanted my dreams to come true, I needed to work hard for them. And I did. I was constantly reminded that disability is a state of mind. And with determination and perseverance, I could overcome any hurdle in life. You don't need hands or legs. All you need is the right attitude. I suddenly discovered that my disability did not stop me from doing anything as long as I believed that I could do it. Having belief in yourself is the most important thing between success and failure. If you believe you can do something or you cannot do it, either ways you're correct. Most important is what you believe. It's your thought that decide the outcome. So it's important that we have control over what we are thinking. Now, my parents realized that I must regain the lost confidence quickly because it doesn't take too long for self-pity to, set in. So they motivated me to indulge in several extracurricular activities. I started learning skating and swimming and also playing games with children of my housing society. Playing with other kids not only gave me enjoyment but also started instilling confidence and courage to face the world on my own. More importantly, I found purpose. Purpose gives your life direction and meaning. We need to constantly move forward to some goal or purpose. When you have a purpose, your long-term happiness, satisfaction, and sense of achievement are much better definable. With a purpose in life, you are able to steer your life in the best direction possible. And that's the direction where long-term happiness can be found. And what gave me the courage to try out different things in spite of not having any hands was that there was no pressure on me to succeed. Even if I failed, my parents would still give me a pat on the back for at least trying. This made me fearless. I was no longer afraid of failing. Many a times we either avoid new things or fail due to the fear of failure. It's important to create an environment where not only success is applauded, but also failures are accepted. What's more important is that one tried. One of the reasons why we fear failing is not only associated with the loss of income or loss of status, but also the judgment and ridicule of others. The solution lies in the saying, those who judge don't matter, and those who matter don't judge. Other than my family, I was blessed with a lot of positive influence in my life from my friends, my teachers, on the society on the whole. Every time I thought of doing anything, I received a lot of support and encouragement. Sometimes I ponder what I have done better than other differently able people, and two things stand out. Firstly, I've come to terms with my disability. It was just an accident, not something that I have to be ashamed of. I have accepted myself the way I am, no apologies. Secondly, I've used my limited resources to maximum benefit. Even though I'd lost both my hands, but still I had my feet, shoulders, and many features I've been discovering ever since. We constantly crib about things we don't have and forget to recognize the plethora of things that we have at our disposal. It's not about what you don't have, it's about how well you use the things you have. And that's what makes the difference. So here's what I've learned from my parents in a nutshell. Never give up, accept change, face challenges, failure is acceptable, find meaning or purpose, and remember, everything is possible. Now, my sincere urge to the Della community. Once Mahatma Gandhi said the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. It is not only critical for the rehabilitation of the differently able, but also for the sensitization of the society. We need inclusion, a more inclusive society. An estimated 2.1% of Indian population has a disability, a humbling figure of over 26 million people. A person can face disability intellectually or physically at any point in their life, from medical complications or life-altering events. What is an inclusive society for disabled, and why is it important? Inclusion means that all people, regardless of their disabilities or health care issues, have the right, firstly, to be respected and appreciated as valuable members of the community. Secondly, participate in recreational activities in the neighborhood settings. Thirdly, work at jobs in the community that pay a competitive wage and have careers that use their capacities to the fullest. And finally, attend general education classes from preschool through college and continuing education. Inclusion applies to all parts of life. The Rights of Persons with Disability Act of 2016 mandates that people with disabilities have freedom, equality, and opportunity to participate fully in public life. The Act also facilitates full acceptance of people with disability and ensures full participation and inclusion of such persons in the society. Society for Human Resource Management defines inclusion as the achievement of a work environment in which all individuals are treated fairly and respectfully, have equal access to opportunities and resources, and can contribute fully to the organization's success. Inclusion in the workplace is extremely important for an organization looking to build a strong sense of connection and belonging and an engaging culture. Now, how can companies build an inclusive workplace and enjoy the benefits? Firstly, I would like to say employ. Organizations must ensure that persons with disability are represented in their workplace. Beyond hiring, employers should implement practices and encourage and progress persons with disability. Number 2, enable. Management must provide employees with disability with accessible tools and technology and a formal accommodation program. Consider cultivating great awareness through formal training programs for those without disabilities to learn about the tools and accommodations available for better integration across teams. Number 3, engage. To foster an inclusive culture throughout the organization, companies must generate awareness building through recruitment efforts, disability education programs, and grassroots led efforts, for example, an employee resource program and events. And lastly, empower. Companies must offer mentoring and coaching initiatives as well as reskill programs to ensure that persons with disability continue to grow and succeed. Persons with disability should occupy roles at all levels, including top leadership positions. Inclusion at workplace refers to the degree to which diverse individuals are able to use their voice, participate in the decision making process, and feel like one actually belongs. I established Vital Spark Welfare Society in 2014 with a mission to ensure social justice, economic and educational enhancement to the disadvantaged sections of the society, focusing on the differently able through developing mechanisms aiming at service and skill building. The NGO has been successfully collaborating with the local administration and the state government in formulation and implementation of policies for betterment of the differently able. According to the report, India has almost 3 crore people with disability, of which around 1.3 crore are employable, but only 34 lakh of them have been employed across the organized sector, unorganized sector, government-led schemes, or self-employed. Vital Spark Welfare Society has also facilitated in meeting the demands of corporates employing differently able staff in vocational training to suit their needs, thus creating a win-win condition for both parties. So my urge to my fellow members in DLC is if we can collaborate and support this particular segment of the society, which is promising and willing to lead their lives without any support. If we create more employment opportunities and inclusive environment for them, and if we can provide proper healthcare and mental support centers, I'm confident that together we'll be creating a goodwill in the society. So let's start by thinking about what do we do day to day in our environment and organization that actually makes inclusion happen. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I hope that it inspires you to exploit your full potential. And I'd like to thank DLC for giving me this platform.